Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. Welcome back to the show, Leanne, sorry. Leo, it's been a long day, and Kevin King as well. How you doing, gents?
I'm alive and kicking, doing well.
Excellent. So Mina will join us in a moment, and so will Tim Jordan. Just waiting for him to join the call. In the meantime, before we move on to the future, what's going on for next year, etc. Give us 2 key points, one each, this year, kind of sum it up for you, 2022. Starting with Kevin.
Yeah, everybody's saying that it's recession. Nobody's buying anything anymore. Everybody's cutting back. That may be true in some things, but not for me. Not on Amazon. Everything is good.
Good.
Sales are actually up 2% over last year over year on the same products.
Yeah.
So this idea that the recession's killing everything, it may affect a few things, but somewhere other people are making it up. People that are cutting back. So that's one of the things that 2022. The other one in 2022 is just, as usual, a lot of changes. I mean, constantly changes with Amazon releasing more internal data, with all the different new rules, fulfillment fees up 30% over the last couple of years. Just always changing, always you never know what to expect.
Yeah. Leo, what about yourself?
Yeah, I agree with Kevin, actually, with regards to this year, with the recession not really affecting much the sales. So I think this year we've seen more, it was the year of high quality business, quality products, instead of the Me Too products have already been like long gone. But this year I've seen a little bit more of that, sellers really focusing more on building brands, collaborations with influencers, for example, rather than traditional giveaways. So that like old school kind of strategy is completely gone, in my opinion. Still some happening here and there, but overall I think the space has just become a lot more sophisticated. Per se. And I already said it in a comment a couple of days ago, but I think this year we've seen some, but next year even more. We're going to see a lot more data coming in straight from
a lot more. Sorry, I didn't hear the last word.
A lot more data, like real data coming in.
Yeah,
straight from the horse mouth. So yesterday I got access to this amazing, I think it's called IQD report from Amazon. Which basically tells you everything that is wrong with your account, the ASINs. And so getting it straight from Amazon is going to change drastically the way we operate.
You're checking those leaf nodes, huh? This is the session that Matt did with Danny a few weeks ago. That was really good.
Did you have any
report? That's been around since the dawn of time, but it's just now a lot of people are starting to hear about it, and thanks really to Seller Sessions and to Matt and Danny. A lot of people kind of disappeared off the radar. It was a big thing in like 2015, 2016, and then it just kind of got forgotten about.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because I had screenshots, I won't say where from, which had from the Amazon Seller Central perception of it and what it meant to them. And then what he was delivering on was his dealings with an account manager and their approach. So it's quite interesting. It's like how Leaf Nodes broke down, but it was sold to obviously our last guest based on, who was it? It wasn't Matt, was it? It was, I'm trying to think who it was. His name escapes him now, but I'll put it in the show notes. But it's the way that the account managers were saying in relation to ranking. Now, in Seller Central, most people wouldn't know anything about Leaf Nodes. And this is why we said on the show, if you're going to contact them about Leaf Nodes, most of them will have no clue what you're talking about. More than likely is the catalog team. So you use a distraction by contacting the catalog team and then ask them about Leaf Nodes. So you go in on something else, an issue with a flat file, for instance, get the catalog person on the phone and then start chatting with them about Leaf Nodes and see if they pick up on it, and then see if it can be requested that way. But it'd be interesting to see. We'll do another show on this in the impact of the Leaf Nodes over a longer period of time and the relevance of it in terms of the impact on ranking. Now, he's seen some changes, but that was quite a short period of 3 to 4 months. But it'd be nice to do it on a load of products to see where the where it's consistent. Welcome to the
One
show,
of the things too, Danny,
Oh.
on that, if you're dealing with something complicated, like you just said, a lot of people with seller support may not even know what a leaf node is if you contact them.
Yeah.
One of the things you can do if you ever have a technical issue like that, that's kind of above the pay grade of the typical seller support agent, call on a Saturday. And on Saturdays, you often get the Costa Rica team, which is much more intelligent and much more sharp on things. So call on, if you have a major issue and you're just getting nowhere, try opening a ticket or calling on a Saturday, and you may have a lot better success.
Yeah, indeed. It was Benjamin Weber. It wasn't Matt.
That's right. It's Benjamin. That's right.
Yeah. So, Mina, welcome to the show. We were just talking about kind of sum up with 2 points for you, 2022, before we move on to 2023. So, do you want to give us 2 key points that sums up your 2022 on Amazon?
Yeah, 2 key points that sums up 2022. The first thing that I think I really did well in 2022 was to lay out my analytics a lot better and start being a lot more focused on my goals versus haphazardly, doing PPC or changing a listing image. And so what I mean by that is, we started looking at our data as a funnel. And so we're launching campaigns, we're doing whatever organic traffic methods, we're getting a certain number of sessions into the listing. And so goal number 1 was to bring more sessions into our listing and spend less money. And then, based on the number of impressions versus the number of clicks we're getting, improving the click-through rate. And then based on the number of sessions that we're getting versus the number of conversions that we're getting, improving the conversion rate. And then breaking that down and saying, okay, what is my, limiting factor right now? Am I getting a lot of impressions and not enough clicks? Let me split test the main image. Let me change my price, whatever. And so when we started getting a lot more data driven and constantly focusing on one thing at a time and improving that and going deeper versus, going to the conferences and you hear 17 different things that you can do. Kevin King, shares 61 hacks with you, and then you try to implement them all at once. They're amazing. But I think I learned that, like, trying to do so many things at once and hoping that, you see the revenue go up versus saying, okay, I'm going to take a step back and focus on one thing at a time. So that was one of the biggest things for me in 2022. And going into 2023, I'm going to focus a lot more on the as much as I'm very meticulous with my PPC and I'm constantly, either trying to scale my PPC or optimize for profit, I'm going to do the same thing with my conversion rate optimization. So it's going to be very data driven. I'm going to analyze every piece every lever I can pull to improve my click-through rate, every lever I can pull to improve my conversion rate, and then constantly change one thing at a time and notice that there's an improvement in click-through rate, improvement in conversion rate. And I think if I stack 52 weeks and I can improve, 0.1 to 1% on click-through rate, conversion rate over 52 weeks, and then drop my cost of traffic or improve my advertising a little bit every single week for 52 weeks, I have a huge growth, in the business.
Cool. Right. So let's get into what the show's going to be about today, which is taking a look. Where do we see the crystal ball? We'll get half of it wrong, we'll get half of it right. 2023, kicking off with you, Kevin. What can you see in terms of the good, the bad, and the ugly? Let's have a look at what you can see the landscape's going to look like, and give me your understanding on where you think things are going in 2023, the good and the bad and the ugly, basically.
Yeah, I think Amazon's going to continue to grow. It's going to be the slower pace, but you're going to see continued growth. So I'm not worried about that. I know the stock is down, but Amazon's strong. I think the Motley Fool just said that it could be actually a good buy. They expect that to actually go up. I think you're going to see some more changes in, like what Leo said, of Amazon releasing additional data. So more data straight from the horse's mouth. I think you're going to see more of that. I think you're going to see more on the like the training side of things. It used to be go on YouTube and you have somebody saying you can make $1 million on Amazon. Here's some screenshots, and look, I can buy a product for $1 and sell it for 20. That's a 6,000% profit margin, or crazy stuff like that. I think you're going to see a change in a lot of the training, and it's already happening with like what Brandon Young's doing with the ecom camp. The more hands-on, I think that's what it's called. The more hands-on, or camp ecom, the hands-on approach. Titan's already doing it. Some of the others, I think you're going to see the people that are getting into the space, or the people that are already at there, but maybe a little bit lower level, are going to see more hands-on type of training rather than just one way. Yeah, I think You're going to see more inventory stuff. I think the problem with the inventory controls, Amazon overbuilt their warehouses, and that's one of the reasons they're doing the ship with Prime. If you have a Shopify store or something. But the problem with the restrictions, I don't believe was a space issue. That's my personal belief. I believe it was a labor issue. I think they couldn't hire enough people to actually process everything, and so I think some of that's going to get sorted out. They have the space. It's not an issue there. I think it's labor and systems. So I think that's going to you're going to see some of that. I think you're going to see on the PPC side. I think you're going to see more. There's some people doing this already, but day parting and going back. I mean, if you go back, if you've been selling for a while, go back and download your last 6 months or last year's worth of sales and actually analyze that and see exactly when your sales are coming in and create like a graph. There's spreadsheets and stuff that'll do this for you, or you can create your own and actually do day parting. I think that on PPC, you're going to see a lot more emphasis on day parting on the PPC. Not only days, but days of the week. And I think that's going to affect tacos. And for the people that really nail that, I think it's going to make a huge difference. I think you're going to see price pressure still. Shipping costs are way down. So that's a good thing. But inflation is here. I mean, so everything is going up. So I think you're going to see some pricing pressures. I could keep going, but I'll let the other guys.
No, keep rolling, and then the boys can also roll in as well with loads. So finish off what you're saying, Kevin. You was on a roll there.
I think Amazon is. Some people say, has Amazon jumped the shark? Is it too late to get in? No, it's still a great opportunity. But like what Leo was saying earlier, it's about brand building. You got to come into it now. Can you make a little bit of money just selling knickknacks or whatever? Sure, some people can have a random success there, but it's really more about building a brand, building a loyal customer base. I think you're going to see a little bit more people trying Walmart. Walmart's still just a tiny fraction for most people of Amazon. I think Shopify could potentially, as soon as they've been teasing this for a while. If it actually happens in 2023. Shopify Marketplace could be a game changer. And it could be actually better, in my opinion, than Walmart's. So I think a lot of Amazon sellers need to be paying attention to Shopify, especially now with the fulfilled with Prime option and pay with Amazon checkout or whatever that you could do with Shopify. I think that could be the number 2 marketplace if and when they get that launched. I think that's a major game changer for e-commerce sellers. You have new markets opening up. A lot of people stick with the US or they stick with Europe, but you have Colombia opening up this year in February. That's 50 million, close to 50 million Spanish speakers in Colombia. You have Chile opening up. You have I don't know, there's 2 or 3 other. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but I know Chile and Colombia. That's could be. I think the Colombian market could be a good market. I think that's going to be better than like UAE or some these other smaller markets, better than maybe even Australia. Because there's a lot of e-commerce.
Just quickly on the Australia thing, I got a client that's just hit 1 million over there, obviously Australian dollars, not US. But there is starting to see a bit of a lift. It then obviously down to product level, whatever, category, etc., etc. But it was very interesting when it was like you'd done 1 million in that territory. It just really surprised me, even though it's Australian dollars and there's a difference between that and the other currencies. It's still a good jump in sales for Australia. No, so that's interesting.
That's really good. I think you're going to see on the software side of things. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with, you have Assembly and Carbon 6, and there's another one, Leaf Jump, or I forget the name of it. There's a third what's it called?
3 Colts.
That's it. 3 Colts. Yeah, I couldn't remember. That's a strange name. 3 Colts. You got 3 of them that are, and I think there's a couple others in the works right now that are trying to roll up software. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. That's not that easy to integrate all these different systems and to integrate, you're buying 20 different systems, some written in Python, some written in PHP, some written in this, and trying to integrate all that is going to be I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. So I think that's going to be an interesting place to watch. The aggregator space, it's kind of died off. It's still there, but you're going to see, I think next year's even more consolidation. I think you'll see a few of the aggregators actually emerge fairly strong. And come through. And I think that's from a seller's point of view. I think people are always in the past always talking about like Chinese sellers or Asian sellers having an advantage, and we're always competing against them. I think it's going to, the aggregators, the strong aggregators are going to be the major competition in a lot of categories and a lot of products, not the Asian sellers anymore. And I think that's something you got to pay attention to as well.
Cool. Right. So I counted 57 tips there from Kevin. Leo?
Oh, I need 4 more. Mina said I got to do 61. No,
61. You got to do 57 and then Mina can do 58. Leo, go.
Yeah, Kevin did a good job summarizing what I think is going to happen. So from a good side perspective, I agree with Kevin with regards to Amazon being always the major player in the market now, and I don't see them going anywhere. I'm seeing though a little bit more sophistication on the logistics side of things. Whether you're looking at it from a multi-channel sales perspective, so you list on one side and that goes syndicated over different platforms, as well as the AWD, which is the warehouse and distribution network that Amazon just made it available to us, which I think is very, very convenient for a lot of sellers. We just started using it, and it allows us to ship to them, and then they will basically like just fulfill to the or keep the inventory in stock to the FBA fulfillment centers automatically as they see the stock levels going down. So that's also a good game changer. But what I like about Amazon, even though there's still a lot that needs to be fixed, is that they're actually listening a little bit more to us. So that's one thing that I would put in the good bucket. I see a lot more surveys coming from Amazon. They want to know what is it that we like, what we don't like. I think a couple of weeks ago, they sent me a survey asking what I will change in the Vine program, because they realize that getting reviews is very difficult, right? And so I see the opportunity still being there and strong. On the bad side, I think is going to be a little bit more difficult. We've already seen the minimum kind of entry level going from 5,000-10,000 all the way to 40,000-50,000. The product that we recently launched, I had to spend over 100K in inventory alone. So the entry point is going to be much more challenging for the average entrepreneur that wants to, become or reach their financial freedom in a matter of a few months, which is what we used to work really well a few years ago. Now, when it comes to the software space, I agree with Kevin. I think that's the ugly part of what probably we're going to see, a little bit more consolidation in a way that some probably players will probably fade away, and some will become a lot stronger. And that will be strictly dictated by the level of innovation, I think, but also how Amazon plays the game. Because if Amazon keeps releasing these tools, there will be less kind of a need from a software player perspective to keep innovating or figuring out how to make the seller happy from a data perspective, because now it's going to be Amazon releasing the data, and the first party data is obviously much better. One thing that I haven't seen probably Amazon doing is a proper keyword research tool. And if you look at Google, I always give Google as an example, being a major advertising player, right? Being the major advertising network out there, obviously giving a keyword research tool goes hand in hand, right? And so that's what's missing right now on the Amazon platform. As we have the brand analytics, we have the search, the query report tool, but we don't have a proper keyword research tool that allows me to see actual, search volume, total click-through rates, and then all of this stuff that helps me build a better campaign. Also, geographically, so based on geolocation, because some products might work better in Los Angeles versus Miami. And so that's the kind of sophistication that I like to see on the advertising side of things. And Mina here can talk more about it. But that really depends on what Amazon will do next year. And I think next year is going to be the year where we see a lot of that coming directly from Amazon. Also, one thing that I liked this year is the approach with the collaborations with influencers, which I think is going to become more and more like a lot stronger in the next year and going forward, because it's it makes you as a seller a little bit more independent and less reliant on what are the tools available out there. So one thing that I predicted a few years ago, and it happened in a different way, was Amazon turning almost into a shopping cart kind of solution, similar to Shopify. The reason why I say that is because the number of reviews on average went from a few thousand to 5-6 figure, right? Like you have the average vitamin C or silicone spatula, they have 100,000 reviews, right? So getting into the space after these niches is almost impossible unless Amazon changes the way they display the reviews and they only account for the past, for example, 6 months, which I think is the right way to do it. Because if you had a problem with your supplier 3 years ago and your average review rating went from 4.7 to 4.4, you shouldn't be paying for that mistake if you already fixed it. Mm-hmm. And so displaying 4.4 on a product that now is worth, it's a 4.8, I'm afraid is, it's not cool for the seller that already worked hard to fix that problem. And so if they display an average of the past 6 months based on their most recent ratings, I think that will change drastically the game. And so going back to Amazon becoming this checkout platform with the brand referral bonus, which gives you the 10% back, they almost did it. So you can now send your own traffic. I was hoping to see the full 15% given back to you because you're sending your own traffic. So in that case, it's not Amazon that's sending their own traffic, it's yourself. And so you shouldn't be paying their commission at all. Yeah, they can take a commission on the checkout like anybody, other merchants do when you pay by credit card. But the actual traffic referral fee should be free. And so I see that happening more, in which I think is going to give a lot more opportunity to us to treat Amazon as this checkout platform. And then we've seen Amped doing a good job getting Amazon to remove the ads. So if they collaborate more with us sellers, then I'm afraid that there is also for them a much better way to compete with Shopify, which is trying to really fight against them when it comes to providing these e-commerce platforms. So there are a few things that would be interesting for us sellers. It will give us more opportunities next year. But the major players are those that are actually, in this case, have to make some changes on their side. But we will keep seeing the Amazon community definitely growing more because we see players, software providers putting a lot of money into the space. So yeah, I definitely encourage sellers to keep an eye and new sellers obviously approaching the space, because we are here and we are here to stay for the next few years, and we'll always be able to figure out how to succeed on the platform. So that's my opinion on when it comes to the different buckets and how do I group them.
Cool. Mina.
Perfect.
58, you got 58. Yeah. You start counting.
I mean, these guys are hard to beat. It sucks that I'm going in last place. No, it's all good. So my predictions, I wrote a few down. First of all, I think the platform is getting very sophisticated. Like both Leo and Kevin mentioned. I don't think it's gonna be there's gonna be any room anymore for those single sellers to come in, because another point that I'm seeing is a lot of people that 3 years ago we had a conversation. I mentioned Amazon, let's say like GAT, right? You've heard of GAT, like Nitraflex or whatever. It does $1 million a month. Is a pre-workout. They used to say we don't care about Amazon, and now those same people are really putting a lot of attention into Amazon, and they have a lot more money than a lot of people. And so it used to be 3 years ago, people, most big D2C brands and whatever didn't really care about Amazon. They wanted to have the buyer and the consumer and all of this stuff and have all of their data. And I'm seeing that they're now they've felt enough pain or seen enough threat from Amazon that they're all moving in to Amazon. And so with that comes, they're not moving in alone. No $10 million brand is coming in and saying, okay, guys, let's figure this out. They are hiring the best agencies out there. They're hiring the best freelancers. They're making them fight They're getting the best out of everything. They're milking everyone. They're at the same time building an in-house team. And so the pace is a lot faster now on Amazon. Like everyone's pushing the pace. I don't think there's going to be room anymore for those single sellers to come in with a $10,000, like Leo said, or the $10,000 investment, which leads me to my next point. I've seen now, if you nail the launch, you're good. And nailing the launch means you come in with enough inventory, a lot of velocity, and a lot of mixed signals to Amazon, saying, okay, we're using PPC, we are using, maybe DSP, we're sending external traffic, we've fully optimized the page for as a brand, right? So we've used every single element on the page, and then if you do that, you end up, and probably Kevin is the king at this, right? Of launches, right? So if you do that, you end up staying up, and the algorithm kind of helps you. If you don't, you're kind of dead, because everyone else is nailing their launches. Everyone else is giving those signals to Amazon. And I like more and more now the brands that come to me and they're like, we used to do so well and now we're out of stock. We are like everything, right? Spending more money on PPC, improving their listing, reviews, split testing, everything we can. And it's almost impossible to get them back to where they were when they did like a haphazard launch. Sorry if you guys hear a plane.
One of Mina's launches in the background. Yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, I mean that's kind of I'm seeing more of that. One thing both Kevin and Leo mentioned that I want to touch on is analytics. So they're releasing a lot more analytics and Amazon Marketing Stream and all of that stuff. I've been very, very, very heavily experimenting with the stuff, and I can tell you this more times with brand analytics and Marketing Stream. I'm seeing that the data is not accurate. Like they're telling you the conversion rate between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. is like twice as high. And then you do all of these things. They're telling me that the top 3 competitors are getting 98% of the conversions, on this keyword, but their sales don't make sense. It's a keyword with 50,000 searches a month, according to Amazon, and these top 3. But if you look at their sales, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. So I'm seeing more data come from Amazon, but I'm seeing more inaccuracy, and I think it's gonna get fixed eventually. But this is the thing with ACOS that I've been talking about for so long, is people come in and they're like, Mina, we need to get our ACOS under 35%. I say, we don't even know if that's the real ACOS. Like half the time it's wrong, because if we don't track total spend, total sales, that thing in the middle is broken. And so the people that know a lot about this is the Facebook ads guy and the Google ads guy, because the Facebook ads guys are used to running Facebook, Google, YouTube ads, TikTok, whatever, and it all comes in, and you're like, okay, who caused the sale? Because Facebook says that it got you $25,000 in sales, and YouTube said it got you $13,000 in sales, but you only had $28,000 in total sales. So who was right? And so I think sellers should consider that the data that they're getting is not fully accurate, and start looking at like more like first principle thinking, and being like a scientist. Like, if I can't tell what happens in between point A to point B, what can I do to validate some of the data or come up with my own data? So just kind of because everyone, I know, as soon as Amazon releases stuff, everyone starts posting about it, but I've just seen a lot of inaccuracy. Like I said, less ability for single sellers, and this goes more to Leo's point. I think Amazon is behind Google, and they're catching up to Google's like advertising abilities. There's also Google Optimize, where you can split test different pieces of the listing. I think that's also on the horizon. But with sophistication means that there's no longer room for you to be a single seller that is super sophisticated at creating products, validating the market. Like I know people now, before launching, they will spend at least $2,000 or $3,000 in polls, in product polls, so they know and understand that they will beat the competition before they go in. So as a single seller, you're coming in, you're doing product research, market research, you're doing these polls, you're a sophisticated logistics and supply chain person, you're also a sophisticated advertiser and conversion rate optimization, and you're getting reviews, and you're building a brand. So it's getting too much, that now Amazon is also kind of getting to that level of Shopify, where most brands doing over $1 million a year on Shopify, they have teams, and it doesn't mean that they have in-house, or like they have a team of experts. It could be agency, it could be in-house, it could be freelancer, but it's no longer like, yeah, like I launched the brand on Amazon and I'm able to do everything. I feel like that's going away very quickly, because even the ones that like us who have been on Amazon for a while, I'm starting to notice like, man, I really need to have a dedicated person just for this, because it's like Amazon now, supply chain, I can't even sleep on it, because if I see us dip below 30 days of inventory, I'm starting to notice our sales are declining. So, like now I have to be even better, because I have to make sure that the ports are going to be fine. I have to make sure that I'm placing orders on time. It's no longer simple, what I'm getting at. In terms of software, I think simple software is going to die. So set it like, oh, we have this solution. You click a button and it does everything for you. With the sophistication, that stuff dies. The people who are building software that is made for stronger teams and sharper people in agencies, that's gonna keep going. And again, this is a very simple, right? If you survey the market and the people who are using the tools, and you continue to kind of cater your tools to that market, you're gonna succeed. But if you're not surveying the market and you said, we think that everyone wants an automated solution, we think that everyone wants like a simple, like click a button and you don't have to worry about it anymore, I think that stuff's gonna go away. There's no more. I don't think anyone here like really thinks that you can click a button and then you're gonna succeed on Amazon when all of us are like busting our ass every single day. Like I'm praying to God that there's more people like that so I can beat them. You know what I mean? Like I'm praying that there's people saying, "Oh, simple automation." I'm like, perfect, because in that $0.1 mistake that you make, I'm gonna take advantage of it. And so that's kind of how I've been. That's kind of that's my predictions for 2023.
I think too on that software that he's mentioning, I think you're going to see a lot more true AI integrated into Amazon.
That was what I was going to come on to next.
There's a lot of tools out there right now that say they're AI, they're repricers or their PPC management say we use AI. That's bullshit. They're not using AI. It's just an algorithm. It's horseshit. But true AI like Chat GPT to build a listing, to analyze reviews. If you haven't played with that and gone in there and tried to, and it's amazing what you can do. It's not perfect, but it's absolutely amazing for list building, for analyzing reviews, analyzing competition.
What else is good?
That's going to evolve. There's already software like I think Percy.ai, I think is one of them that's actually kind of trying to do that. It's for Amazon, specifically for Amazon sellers. There's several others, but I think that's going to become a bigger player for Amazon sellers in building listings, analyzing listings, doing split testing, like you said, where Amazon may allow you to split test more parts of the listing, and you'll be able to spit out 50 different bullet points and just rotate through them and find the perfect one. You don't even have to write them yourself. I mean, you got to tweak them maybe a little bit from what it gives you, but sometimes it gives you amazing stuff. It's mind blowing where it's at right now, and where it's going to go is going to have a major impact across all industries, including
a couple of other things. Just adding to the list that you mentioned there, reinstatement letters. You'll get about 70-85% right in terms of you give it to the chat, and basically it will spin you up about 70 to 80% correct for you to make adjustments on it. What else was there? Customer service. So customer service response depends on your team. Then obviously that can become more and more sophisticated. Anthony Lee's really hot on this stuff. He's writing prompts and all sorts for it. I also use combined with that is software called Copy AI, and basically it breaks it down in everything into blog ideas, freestyle, bullet points to blog sections, product descriptions, digital ad copy. So it's got ad copy variants, Facebook headlines, Facebook link descriptions, Facebook listicle, Facebook primary text, general ad copy, Google description, Google headlines, LinkedIn ad copies, and then it's got startup tools, brand mission, brand voice, motto generator, website copy, call to actions, meta descriptions. It's just endless.
It's even the people that are not native English speakers. A lot of times you can tell on their listing, and you can tell, it's kind of a broken English. They can use this stuff and have perfectly.
Kevin, in the last 2 weeks, I've turned into fucking Hemingway. I could barely read and write, and now I'm turning it into Hemingway using this software.
It's amazing what this stuff can do.
These guys, I was having a chat last night with Dima, You guys know Kubra
Yeah.
about this, and it was very interesting. From a cup of tea, went into a few of them, but this is going to lead us, or is going to lead the Amazon space turning into semantic SEO optimization instead of what we do today. Because right now, everything that we do on the listing it starts with a keyword. Everything we go and it's like, we look at the keyword and then we find a bunch of other keywords and we write the titles of the bullet points and the description. It's all based on the seed keyword that we found. As AI starts playing and there's more tools based on AI will come out next year, the engine itself, the Amazon engine itself, is going to retrain over time, because now the copies are written based on what the AI was trained on, which is all this bunch of different documents, right? If you guys know how those models are created, which is semantically based and topic based instead of just the keyword, right? And so what my prediction was that if you add a keyword in your listing that is not strictly related or contextually relevant to that topic, you're actually going to damage your listing instead of helping. And the example was, some people put, in the back end keywords, Kim Kardashian, if they're, selling a weight loss supplement, right? Because maybe they're hoping to rank from Kim Kardashian weight loss. That Kim Kardashian word in the search term, back end search terms, is going to actually reduce the relevancy of your listing to that specific topic, because you use that keyword that is completely unrelated. So that's really, I think, what's going to happen the more we use AI next year and the years to come, which is a good thing, because I think we're going to be able to rank during the honeymoon period a lot easier if we do a good job from a semantics SEO perspective, compared to just, hey, let's start the title with this word. But we'll see. That's all, obviously a theory at the moment, but that's my opinion.
Yeah. And one of the things I just did with the AI, I was just playing around with it a couple of days ago, and I just took a random product. I think it was a slow feed dog bowl, and I'm actually going to show this next week or 2 weeks from now, Leo, at the event we're speaking at in Brooklyn. But I took it and I went and I used X-Ray and I just downloaded the reviews. And I said, show me just the 4 and 5 star reviews and the most common phrases, the 25 most common phrases that people are using, dog eats slower or bowl doesn't slide or whatever. And then I took those and I put it into Chat GPT. I said, make me an Amazon product description using all these that's positive. And I forget, I put a few other parameters in there, and it's less than 300 words or something like that. And it spit out something that was amazing. I mean, there was 1 or 2 little tweaks in there that I had to fix. It spit out something that was amazing. So what you can do with this stuff is kind of mind blowing. And I agree with what Leo just said, that if you have the wrong keywords, because Amazon's probably going to have some sort of AI that's looking at it and looking at relevance, and they already have something similar to that. There's a name for it. We had someone on the Helium 10 Elite like 3 years ago come on and talk about how it can tell, like you say, big building. Someone types in big building as a search term, but you don't have the word big building anywhere in your listing, but you have the word Empire State Building. It actually knows that's a big building and will actually show your listing. So there's going to be something along those lines where relevancy is going to become the relevancy of your listing is going to become even more important. And trying to game the system is going to become harder.
Yeah. Is there any other final points you want to cover before we wrap?
No, 2023 is going to be an awesome year. I think it's going to be a good year for everybody. And I agree it's going to become harder, but it's still a great opportunity.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would just say to those listening, first of all, I hope to see you in May in London at Danny's event. And Kevin, you're doing one in June, I believe, right? In Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
But what I would like to say is pay attention to what Kevin said at the very beginning. There are a lot, especially now with TikTok and videos on TikTok going viral so easily, so fast. Pay attention to these fake gurus that promise you to get quick, because it takes a lot of work. It's not like Mina said, it's not just one man show anymore. You need to really understand how to build a business. And that's really, how I will wrap here, because I don't like when people then eventually come and, they lost a bunch of money because someone said, hey, like, give me $5,000 and I'll make you rich. That's
I would actually argue this is getting less and less now, because the platform's more and more difficult. You need more and more money to invest. It's very hard for these to pull off the old passive income thing. So I think we still got them out there, the scammers and stuff, but it's becoming less and less, because people are fully aware is that it's no longer the days of 500, $1,000, 1,500 to get going. So
I think there is still an opportunity for someone. I agree with everything that y'all are saying. It takes more money to build a brand and to have that freedom, like Leo said. But I think, someone that starts with 5 or 10 grand, there still are some small opportunities there.
Yeah,
it's all relative. If I'm in Pakistan and I can scrunch up 5 or 10 grand to launch some, random product that sells only 10 units, a week or whatever. But I can make $800 profit a month. That's twice what I'm making, working in an office. That's life changing for me. So it's all relative for us. It depends on what your goals are, and depends on what you want to do.
From the scammer's perspective, it's harder for them to flog this dream lifestyle now to what you could in 2015. Indeed. Mina, final words from you.
Yeah, final words. I definitely don't want to, discourage anyone, right, from starting. I still think Amazon is the best place to start. I think for me, it beats going D2C and Facebook, or trying to go to a retail route or something. So if you're going to start a brand, first I would say start a brand. Come up with a solution to a problem that's better than everyone else's solution. Actually, making a difference in the world, and then get sophisticated. So just work hard. Listen to everything Kevin King and Leo and Danny is putting out there, and just expect that everyone out there is working as hard or harder than you. And if you get into that mindset, you'll be fine. I mean, I don't go into like a fight thinking like, I hope this guy's eating burgers and pizza and is going to be an easy fight. Like, that these guys are working their ass off. And so just expect that. Everyone's working really hard, because it is a big opportunity. Maybe 3-4 years ago, no one knew about it, and now everyone does. So just, if you work hard and you have the right people around you, you should be fine.
Indeed. Guys, thank you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a great 2022. I will look forward to having a great 2023. Tomorrow is New Year Eve. I hope everyone stays safe, goes out, enjoys themselves if you are celebrating. And I look forward to seeing you all in 2023. Take care.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.